r/legal advice. Papramoon7 says, Kentucky, I'm on the deed, but not the mortgage. Ex wants me out. My now ex-fianc, 9 years together, and I purchased a home together in 2022 with a FHA 203k loan. Since at the time I had only been at my job for a couple of months and my credit score wouldn't contribute anything, we decided to not apply together for the mortgage. He insisted that I be on the deed to the home though. Even after our agent privately discussed with him what that would mean. I have contributed financially as much as I could, as I have a shitty low paying job that was to only supplement his income. My main focus was taking care of our son we have together. I have put a lot of my own money into the home. Last September, he came home one day and told me he was leaving me for another woman. Long story short, this same woman and her son will be moving into our home to live next weekend. I can't survive on my income and won't even qualify for an apartment with my income. The house can't be sold until the fall due to it be a FHA loan. He has recently threatened me that he's going to add her name to the deed, leave the house, and go move somewhere else and not pay or force me to sign the home over. Is he able to do any of this? I have nowhere to go right now. My family and friends have no space for me at their homes. Thoughtful Madeline says, he can't add her name to the deed without you agreeing. You being on the deed, but not the mortgage, means you own half the asset and have none of the liability. He can't kick you out, but you can offer to let him buy you out if you want. Thebane says, this is the way. Unknown Panda 121 says, turns out you can have your cake and eat it too. Zerxa Spoon says, he insisted that I be on the deed to the home though, so he really screwed up there. 1. He can't add her to the deed without your agreement. 2. He can't make you move out. 3. He can move her in. What a nightmare. 4. He can't sell the house without you agreeing and participating. You hold all the cards here. Or at least almost all. Dazzler 619 says, you might be able to block her from moving it, but it will be tricky, and it really depends on the local police. Ultimately, the day she shows up to move in, you call the police that she is not authorized to move in, and you want he blocked from moving in. I feel like Cenarius is a 50/50 shot. If you know her name, you could also try to file a restraining order against her and just explain to a judge that your ex is trying to move her into your joint home that he does not own alone, and you feel it's an unsafe environment for you and your child. I feel like this has a 99% chance of working, since it would be very difficult, not impossible though, for a judge to order you to move, since you are one of the homeowners. Suspicial77 says, the judge won't make her move, but getting a restraining order against someone is usually a bigger deal than they might be a risk to my kid if they move in. The judge would likely need cause to believe this is true. Witcherlade98 says, you also need to speak with a family law attorney about custody of your son and child support. Papramoon7 says, we weren't married, so I automatically have full custody. He doesn't have any rights as of now. He knows this and doesn't want to pursue it right now because he can't afford this home and the $900/MTH child support. r/legal advice. Fayette Fishlock says, I woke up to a sheriff's deputy at my door with divorce papers. This morning I was woken up by a sheriff's deputy at my door. My husband, real, answered the door, then came into the bedroom to wake me up for it. The deputy said I was being served with papers for absolute divorce from a man that is not my husband, but I've also never heard of him and have no idea who he is. Apparently he's in North Carolina, a state I have never even lived in. The paperwork doesn't say he's asking for any type of compensation or split belongings. The address that they had on record for me was indeed mine, back in 2014. The supposed marriage happened in 2016, although it doesn't list location. Back in 2011 and 2015 I was hit with identity theft including Yahoo and Equifax, I think, data breaches. It may have been Experian, but I know it was a major credit reporting agency that was hit and my information was stolen. The one in 2015 did result in an erroneous account on my credit report, which I fought for years until I just gave up, because it was only about $300 and the dumb at $$ and can't keep up with the police report I sent to them, so I let it go until it fell off of my credit report in 2022. There have been no other financial compromises though. But now I'm being sued for a divorce out of another state to a man I've never met. Everything I'm reading online is telling me there's no reason for alarm. One response from a person involved with a credit agency even said to ignore the court summons, and they'll grant him the divorce, which leaves me free and clear. I'm a veteran and get VA benefits, but this name hasn't shown up anywhere on my VA records. My real husband, however, married him in 2021, is listed on my VA records. I get additional compensation through the VA for him, never before the real marriage though, and I'm listed on his health and dental insurance as well, because, well, VA healthcare sucks. And anyone that may have filed a joint tax return would be incredibly stupid to do so, because I do have an outstanding federal debt from my time in the military that I cannot pay because I'm on disability, and the nature of the debt means they can't take away from my disability compensation, so tax returns would be withheld by the federal government just for that. It would hurt them more than anything to file tax returns jointly. In short, there isn't a threat to me financially at all. It's just some random person wanting a divorce from a marriage that I was never a part of. What should I do? Cantancarousorders says, do not ignore a summons. Not ever. Show up and be present with your real husband in tow and the police report. I'm sure the court will grant an annulment once your supposed husband in NC looks at you and realizes you are not the same person. You can even go to the police station together and file a new report. Jiggles says, I just want to second this. Do not ever ignore a summons. If this is a scammer, I can almost bet he is relying on you not showing up. If anything, they served the wrong person with the same name. Crumb says, yay, and sue this frick Ein guy and his lawyer for not doing due diligence in serving the right person. Technus says, it's probably just mistaken identity. I'd personally start with a call to the lawyer listed to inform him he served the wrong person. The dumbass client gave bad info to his lawyer. The moron of a lawyer didn't bother checking anything, and or the pie hired to locate the wife was lazy and went close enough once he found you. Katikathat's Claus says, this needs to be higher. Pretty positive they just ed up with someone with the same name and a bad Google search. Sparkly Sloth says, in short, there isn't a threat to me financially at all, maybe not. But don't ignore it. If it's actually from your identity theft, your identity was already married when you married your real husband. That's much too great a risk to just ignore. Financial Month 3475 says, I'd get an email to a court clerk in whatever jurisdiction the divorce is taking place in and explain the situation. They'll likely want proof of some kind, but it sounds like you have plenty. Lithanes says, court clerks have no power in this situation. OP has to file an answer or other legal response. The ultimate resolution will be a judge's order. Kiltika Zero says, as a court clerk in a divorce court, this is completely useless advice and won't do a damn thing. Home Alive says, the divorce filing should have an attorney listed. Reach out to them. Also, you should check the clerk of the court website for the county in NC and check for a civil case in your name. It may have information on where you can send information. r/legaladvice. Soggy Cantaloupe 639 says. Sextortion. Throwaway account for obvious reasons. Let's get this out of the way. I'm an idiot and made a mistake. I've learned from it. I don't care about the money gone. I just want it to stop and ideally not let this person do this to someone else. Long story short, things have been rough and I went to a provider for adult entertainment. The provider then used my phone number to look up home address, family members etc, locked me in the room, cornered me, and demanded $2,500 or feed share a video of the entertainment. Is there a way to report this person without getting into legal trouble myself? This is my first experience with adult entertainment and I think I have been scared away for good. Bubbler Strings says. If you actually engaged in intimate acts with this person and they proceeded to record them without your knowledge and then blackmail you with the footage, then whoa, this goes a lot further than anything usually posted to this sub. Where are you located? Laws vary by location and your location will therefore affect the replies you get. If in your shoes, and in the US, I cannot imagine doing less than consulting a criminal defense attorney prior to reporting this to the police under their advisement. Soggy Cantaloupe 639 says. It occurred in Georgia, USA. Bubbler Strings says. How did you meet them? You understand that this almost certainly isn't over for them, right? They've blackmailed you once, nothing stops them doing it again save some sort of intervention from your attorney and or the police. Wooliscully says. I would not give them money. What's to stop them from asking again and again and again? They will either share that video or they won't. I agree with another comment though about discussing it with a criminal lawyer. Absolutely do not pay this person. That is a never-ending cycle of stress and blackmail. Cypher Blue says. Is this in-person adult entertainment or online adult entertainment? Drinks Mocha Golf says. Tell her to beat it. If you paid the $2,500 it's over. Ignore any further communication. Bubbler Strings says. Tell her to beat it. If you paid the $2,500 it's over. Ignore any further communication. If he paid $2,500, it's quite possibly only just begun. They have no moral compass and a live fish on the line, who they probably expect to sunk cost fallacy them all the way to the bank. Cosmic Moonglow says. Blackmail is generally a felony. Silence can only be rented. They may come back anytime. The best thing you can do is act like what they have isn't worth anything and to report them to the cops. Complete Bumbler B5 says. Sketchy. Go to the police. This sounds serious. Iso Cold says. Something similar happened to me in Alabama. First, she began posting vague messages on my job's website. Then she began friending people from my Facebook page. I got in front of it by telling people she was a Tinder catfish who I embarrassed by rejecting. She showed people our texts. I pointed out that there was an entire website dedicated to helping women fake pregnancies as a joke. The important thing was to maintain my smile. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.